Hello and welcome to Firefly in Review. My name is Dave.
I'm Isaac.
And in this edition of the podcast, we're going to be taking a look at episode 6 of Firefly, our Mrs. Reynolds.
It is indeed episode number 6. However, it was not aired number 6, was it?
No, actually, it was aired number 3. Number 3 out of the 11 aired.
Yeah, so this is the third one you get, which really, it's not that big of a deal if you watch this one out of order. It doesn't really have a whole lot of story development. I think we see River in it like once or twice.
And it works completely from the beginning.
It absolutely does.
Yeah, River has no speaking lines in this episode.
No. So, I mean, as far as being aired out of order, this is one of the least offenders. But even still, why? That's my question.
Yeah, there's no reason for it to be out of order. But this one's okay. I mean, like, it could be a lot worse. I understand that.
So being number 3, this one was aired on October 4th of 2002.
2002. A mere 13 years ago. Coming up on 14.
For almost 14 years ago. Still phenomenal show. Still looks good.
All right, Isaac. So where do we start this time?
Well, this one's fun.
This one, I said the bar fights for fun. I think this could easily be the most forgotten yet most fun moment from all of Firefly I've had so far in this rewatch.
So our first shot is this low, like really shallow river. It's really more of like a bog or a swamp or something. And we get
I'd say a creek bed. Totally
creek bed. There you go.
Totally a creek bed.
So we're walking through a creek bed and there's a horse-drawn carriage, 2 horses, and a couple sitting in front of this carriage. Just pulling it through the creek. Really Western looking, really scenic, very atmospheric. And then some more ruffians come out of... Wait, the ruffians show up a lot in Firefly.
Yeah, and you know what? They're terrible people. The Alliance is out to get them.
Every single time, the ruffians are just out trying to make a mess, and the Alliance is out just
swooping in. No, I'm just kidding. The Alliance barely takes care of the ruffians. They would have been burned at the stake.
Yeah, they actually don't care at all about the ruffians. So, a bunch of the ruffians show up, and then, like, the leader of them, their gang boss, is like, I think that you have something that belongs to me. And also, I want all your other shit, too.
So they're just getting ready to rob this poor guy, and Jane looks up. Wait, Jane?
Yeah, so we find out this is Jane, and then
he says that his wife is going to be taken, so Jane tells him that he's sure he doesn't want him. She's a mighty ugly creature. And this is when Mal shows up, coincidentally.
Right. Wearing, what's that thing called? He looks like...
a bonnet.
A bonnet. He's wearing a bonnet.
Cute little bonnet from I can't remember the show. Little House on the Prairie. I got it. Thank you for reminding me.
Yeah. So, and then at this point we get, some quips, some neat little Mal
where
lines.
Mal's just upset that he would be called ugly. It actually harkens back to they take care of the problem. They do another awesome badass shootout.
Yeah,
pew, pew.
It's just a total shootout where Zoe pokes her head out.
Zoe's always being a badass,
saving Mal, and we'll get to it after you explain that part. But there's an interesting thing about the Zoe and Mal that I thought, because I watched this episode twice.
Yeah.
So there's an interesting thing that I thought of the second time.
You've seen it more than that. You're just saying twice recently.
Right, yeah. For this recording.
Okay.
So anyway, finish what you were saying.
Well, I was wrong because I meant Anara.
Oh, okay. So we're just gonna.
So that was we'll just smooth over that.
Jump right into what I was
gonna... Fix it in post. No. I was gonna say that the moment whenever after all this, after the shootout and they're hanging out and Anara's talking to him, she actually asked why he had to be in the dress when Zoe was there.
Exactly. And of course, Mal responds that, he wanted her as the backup and that it feels nice to have the breeze up there.
He likes to wear a dress.
And it's funny. But this is the part that I was wondering. So was Mal unwilling to trust himself to protect Zoe?
Oh.
Do you think he trusted Zoe to protect himself more than...
He trusted himself to protect Zoe?
To protect her. Because it's a good point.
It is a good point. I mean, overall, I would say it was probably written to be fun, but
probably,
you bring up a good point where maybe, I think the reason that he keeps his crew around is not because he likes all of them. I think it's because he likes all of them and he truly knows that he feels safe with this crew.
Right, which we actually get a little bit of that at the end of this episode. So let's go ahead and jump into this party that we're having.
Oh, it's a bash. It's a shindig on an outer planet, man.
They are loving it. It's almost like a tribal type party or something.
Yeah,
Not that
I mean,
know anything about those, but
it looked like a bunch of cultures were just shoved into a blender as far as this thing goes, and it was fun.
yeah, pretty much. And so
But it's very montagey. I mean, they were giving gifts and things, but overall, it's very montagey of their evening, getting drunk, chilling out.
yeah, and when you see drunk, like Jane got shit faced, and then
Jane and Mal.
and then the next scene we see that Mal is also just plastered.
Yeah, they both got absolutely drunk. It was great.
And I loved that. So we get the scene of some good-looking redheaded girl just doing some weird shit with Mal. Like she's giving him a bowl and he's drinking from it. They're just drunk, right? And then the party ends and it's immediate, like dry cut to the morning.
Yeah. Like we're heading out. Thank you for everything. We know, and the guy's like, I know we don't have much to pay, but I hope our gifts are, satisfactory and everything. And he's like, oh no, we're doing good. And that's when Wash or Zoe? Zoe comes up and she's like, something's on our tail, gotta go. So then he's like, all right, we'll see you. And once they hit the
cargo bay door,
and they start going up, he discovers that same redhead.
the girl. Now, of course, Mal doesn't quite recognize her because he was plastered. I mean, I want to get this point across. Mal and Jane
I felt
were
drunk watching him.
Drunk. Yeah, they were gone. So he has no idea who she is. He's startled and he's like, what is going on? And she tells him that she's his wife. They're married.
Theme song.
And then we get Take My Love. Do you want to just you and me do this whole theme song?
No.
We'll sing it.
No, so we cut back and we see guest starring Christina Hendricks of eventual Mad Men fame and always large-breasted fame. Just, beautiful.
She is a good-looking
Face.
gal. Yes. Yeah. Face. Her face.
What were you going to say?
She has a good-looking face.
No, she actually, this was one of the things she did before Mad Men. Not to say she wasn't famous, but Mad Men shot her right into the atmosphere, man.
So Captain Mal's like trying to figure out what's going on, and then Zoe and Wash walk into the cargo bay. And this everything from here on in is just like total uphill.
Great time.
Just awesome. So
Except for Mal's new wife, whose name we don't know yet.
right. So they walk in and Mal just goes, Zoe, why do I have a wife? One of my favorite lines from this episode. And they don't know either. So Mal tells Zoe, or I'm sorry, Wash didn't come in. It was Jane who came in with Zoe. So Zoe and Jane walk in, and then Mal tells Zoe to go get Wash. So Zoe goes up to the terminal, goes to call Wash, but she doesn't call Wash, does she? What'd she do?
Everybody, get down here. Meet. Wait, no, she just says there's something you have to see. She doesn't tell him.
Yep, she calls the whole crew, everybody on the ship.
All right, so then she reveals that everybody needs to say congratulations. This is Mal's new wife. And Inara is the only one who's not happy about this.
Right, but that's not really picked up by the crew.
No, because she's off in the corner. Like she was in the infirmary or something? Maybe?
I don't know what she was in.
Yeah, I don't know what she was doing.
Who knows? But yeah, she kind of stays in the dark and stays back. So everybody finds this hilarious except for Mal and the wife.
And Inara.
Mrs. Reynolds and Inara. But we're going to ignore that for now.
And Inara. We're going to ignore Inara?
It becomes important.
I'm going to ignore Ignora.
No, you're not. You can't. You can't ignore her. Look at her. So Mal demands that they go back and drop her off because he is not happy. Like,
Yeah, he's like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't marry anybody last night.
he does not want a wife. You can tell.
Shepard slyly says, hey, can you go get me an encyclopedia there, boy?
Yeah, to Simon.
Yeah.
He's like, do you have an encyclopedia? And then Chinese Simon was like, you're an idiot. I'm a doctor. Of course I have.
Yeah, of course, bro.
That's what I picked up. I have no idea what he actually
Probably said that. He's probably a preppy douche.
He looked like one, right?
In China, whenever he speaks Chinese, he's just a preppy douche.
Which it's amazing to me that everybody can speak Chinese and it's just like natural to.
I don't think they can. I think they were probably trained to say those few words.
Well, I'm not talking about the actors.
Oh.
We're in the verse right now. This is immersion. We're role playing.
Right. No, I'm in. All right. So what happens after that? He explains.
So Wash explains I can't go back, even though that's a direct order, because the Alliance touched down right after we left, and there's a bulletin out for the murder of somebody's nephew. It was nephew, right?
I can't remember.
It was very confusing. Yeah, it's the nephew.
But they don't
But
need
they're talking
anything
about
on them.
Simon.
Yeah.
So there's essentially a bulletin out that Simon's missing / murdered. But I'm not sure. He just has a lot of family ties, apparently. Because money?
The Tams, man, they're everywhere. They branched out all over the verse.
Well, yeah. How do you think they were so prosperous?
Okay. Well, Saffron runs off, and we're about to learn her name is Saffron because she's very upset. She thinks the crew's making fun of her. Well, actually,
she doesn't even.
she's
really
also
think-
upset by Mal's disinterest in being her husband.
Right. Mal is just like absolutely not having any of it. And this is all she wants. Like, she's just very upset.
Yeah, no, this is essentially what she feels she is meant to be, and it's a great dishonor and insult to not be wanted.
So,
And Jane wants her.
Oh, yeah. So from the very beginning, as soon as she's on the ship, Jane is just a pig. Just an absolute pig.
He's just pissed off.
He's just pissed
I got
off.
a rain stick.
Yeah. So Shepard gets the encyclopedia, looks in it. Turns out the whole deal with the flower headband and the bowl, drinking the wine and the dancing, it was all a marriage ceremony.
Yeah, he just got married.
Yeah. So
For
Mal
real.
is actually married to this Mrs. Reynolds. So
Now.
she runs off. She runs off upset, and Mal goes after her. Zoe's like, "Are you really sure that you're the one who should be talking to her?"
Like, do you have a kind voice to approach this young lady with?
And he goes, "The way I see it, we have one thing in common. We're the only two who don't think this is funny."
I like that.
And then long shot on Inara.
Yeah. Yeah, she's not finding this funny either.
And they made it clear.
Well, he goes and he finds Saffron in the engine room, and she asks if he's gonna kill her.
Yeah, which is also one of my favorite lines from this episode, and we'll get to that later.
And Mal tells her, if somebody ever tries to kill you, well, you just kill them back.
Yeah. That's how he says it, very matter of fact.
Nobody gets to do that to you.
Yeah, yeah, he's like, what kind of a crap planet do you come from? And then he just goes, that's a dumb planet. I love this scene.
See how he's kind of dumb, but he's awesome.
Right. He's like, this is right and this is wrong. And that's how I understand it.
She actually chuckles, and Mal says that she's equal in the world. He tells her that she's going to get off at Beaumont. She'll be able to get a job, and that it'll be about a week. And she gets all happy. She's going to get a chance to please him. And this is when she tells him, "My name is Saffron."
Yep. So we learn her name.
Timid
and
little
then,
girl.
Just little redheaded, short, gorgeous. So Shepard shows up.
Pops in.
Just pops in.
Kind of like a puppet. Just pop.
Yeah. And I feel like at this point, Shepard starts becoming like more of a character that interjects himself into the series.
Yeah, he's like, I'm here to make changes in your lives. No, so check this out. He shows up and he says that divorce is rare but possible by contacting her pastor for dispensation. I looked this word up.
What does it mean?
I looked it up because I knew that I didn't know and you would ask. It is an exemption from a rule or unusual requirement. So he has to get a hold of the pastor to make an exemption for specifically her marriage from her pastor.
Yes. That's how this culture works, apparently.
Then he tells Mal that if he's to take sexual advantage of her, then he'll go to a special kind of hell reserved for child molesters and people who talk at the theater.
Yes, he tells him that.
Right after that.
Mal walks away. Shepard pokes his head back in and says, "A special place in hell." So we get this setup like Shepard is all about making sure that
He's fucking with Mal at this point.
Yeah.
Though. It's obvious that Shepard has a crazy past. He knows he's just It's not a pastor being a pastor. He's fucking with him.
Oh yeah, like he's
Totally
he's
fucking
having
with-
so much fun, and he obviously sees everything that's going. Like, he gets it. He's probably one of the only ones on the ship who actually understands Mal's position and everybody else's.
And he's
hers.
like, watch this.
And he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna have fun with this one because I know Mal. I've been here long enough to know Mal. He's good. So
a good guy.
Fuck with him.
So Saffron runs off and she's making food during all this. Well, Mal shows up and an awkward scene in the chow hall begins as Mal sits down for dinner.
What an incredible scene too, because it was so awkward.
It's great.
Nathan Fillion pulls this off so well. The whole time you're cringing, but you're laughing.
Oh yeah,
It's great.
Mal's good at it. And the whole thing, you feel bad for everybody involved.
Oh yeah, the whole time. So Wash is like super jealous of this dinner that Mal had cooked for him by Saffron, and Zoe is not really having any.
Well,
part of this.
Saffron tells Zoe, there's leftover. There's more if you want to cook for your husband. And Wash looks at her. She doesn't look at him. Wash looks at her and laughs. He's like,
his eyes go so wide.
he's
in
like,
this part.
I'm not that. It doesn't. She's not. I'm just gonna sit down.
And then he gets all excited about Mal's drink, and he's like, I'm gonna go get you some more. And then he's gonna ask Zoe if she wants some.
And she scarily
Saffron, yeah,
takes that cup,
grabs it out of him and goes, that's my job to do. And that's when she tells Zoe that she can cook. So this whole scene is just an amazing, awkward, like the whole time you're just cringing going, I want to keep watching. So it pulled off really well. But all it really serves to do is develop these characters.
Okay.
And their important relationships coming up in the rest of the episode.
It goes a little far, though, whenever Mal leaves. And she's like, if you are done eating, may I wash your feet?
Yeah. So
Wash takes his food.
Yep, Wash takes Mal's food and cut to Inara's room. She's looking for clients for when they land.
And Mal busts in. He's looking for a place to hide. And Inara's clearly upset.
She's still very hurt over this whole thing. And initially, Mal picks up on it. I have a wife, or because I'm letting her go. So he has no idea what's going on here. And they just kind of have a back and forth. And Nara is really grumpy, and he's not picking up on it.
And then all of a sudden, he gets even less. Like, he almost had it, but then he's completely not sure why she's upset at all.
Not even at all. Yeah,
he's like, you didn't give me anything. You didn't give me anything. And I feel his pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, in real life, you will feel that pain.
Because there's an excellent line earlier where Mal goes, just like women, I'm a mystery.
In this episode?
In this episode,
yeah. That's cool.
Yes, it is.
Well, you can tell that like the marriage is fueling her aggression. She just tells him to leave, so he gets out, and he sees Jane at the end of the what would you call that? The balcony, the stairwell,
the hallway.
Is it a hallway?
It's like the upper hall. It's not even a
hall.
hall.
What would you call the top of scaffolding if you had to walk across it?
Scary.
Anyway, he's up there, and Jane's looking down at him holding this huge rifle.
Yeah, just a beauty
just
of
a badass rifle. And he starts walking toward him, describing how he obtained this rifle.
He cocks it, and he says, I don't think you've been taking me seriously.
And he says, six men came to kill me once. Best of them welded this.
And then he describes that it's custom modified. It's got some sort of special trigger, and it's got all sorts of other things.
And then he approaches even closer. Mal's like scared for real.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what Jane's gonna, and he knows Jane can take him.
And Jane's fucking insane. If he decides to snap, it's over.
Yeah.
And then he extends the gun out and tells him it was his very favorite gun.
Vera. His very favorite gun. Hands it up to him.
And he doesn't say a trade though.
No.
And Mal gets
it's very implied.
And then Mal's like, the fuck is wrong? Holy shit. And he just starts breathing like, oh, fuck, you motherfucker.
My days of taking you seriously are coming to a middle.
He tells her that she's a human being. She's going to be treated that way. She can't be bought, borrowed, or bartered.
And go back and play with your rain stick. What a great line.
It's just such a fuck you that sounds so good.
So he hops down to the cargo bay and he finds Saffron there. She overheard the whole thing. Not the Inara stuff, but the Jane stuff.
Can you imagine she overheard the Inara stuff? It'd be weird.
Would be. Maybe she did. And she was like, man,
She was right behind the curtain and she ran down the stairs past Jane. Jane missed her because he was just looking at Vera.
He's stroking Vera because it's the last time that
Kissing Vera at the time. and she just runs. Saffron runs past him.
So Mal is talking to her and he starts like spilling details about his family and growing up to this girl.
Well off. He was on a cattle farm.
Yeah. So it's,
raised by the hands.
and then he kind of stops and he goes, man, I don't usually talk about my past. And she says, is the crew not interested?
Player.
Such a player. and he blows off the question. He's like, yeah, they just know me well enough to... what about you?
And he doesn't... I mean, there's not much information that he gets out of her. She explains what? That she's happy to be on the ship. She doesn't even describe where she grew up.
No, she does a really good job at...
evading everything.
it. Yeah. Almost like she's professional or something.
Oh, man.
So we get a cut to this room that reminds you of something from like early television sci-fi stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, this is Battlestar Galactica looking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that or some sort of Stargate something.
Some Stargate shit. I like it.
Yeah.
like
So we get these two more ruffians who they look like they're probably menacing enough to be the bad guys. Like at this point, you're like, these guys are menacing. I bet they're the bad guys.
I was a little upset we didn't see more of them. I would have enjoyed seeing more of these guys.
They definitely seem to be like they had a whole operation going on and everything. This was just the very, very end of a very, very long story that we didn't get to find anything about. So we don't really know what they're doing, but they have scanned Serenity. They have this kind of back and forward about how one guy's saying it's just a hunk of junk and how are they going to get it scrapped out?
Piece of shit.
And the other one goes, yeah, it might look like that, but that's a Firefly. So throughout this entire series...
And he says that the parts alone are not worth much, but together, it's something.
Right. So throughout this entire series, we get this feeling that like somehow Fireflies are just an incredible class of vehicle. They're like...
Not
they're
great.
old, reliable.
Not great. Not like everybody knows them, but the people that know them, and there's a lot of them around.
Yeah, they're very niche, but the people who know them understand.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I know that there's analogies, but I don't even know.
Yeah, I don't know what it would be.
Probably something Japanese made.
Something that people think is bad, but the people who understand it think it's good, and they know why.
Right.
Mal just likes it.
He does. Mal and Kaylee both. They are in love with them. So all that goes down. They're going to try to capture this Firefly. Cut back to the cockpit. Zoe and Wash are talking about Saffron. And it doesn't go well for Wash.
Does it ever?
Well, no.
I'm trying to think of any argument with the captain, with his wife, Kaylee, Jane, River, Simon, that's ever gone well that he's won.
And he's always chipper. He just always maintains positivity.
Wash is the most underrated character. Don't get me wrong. He's not underrated overall. But just in this crew, underrated.
Yeah.
Keeps his shit together.
All the time.
And when he doesn't, he means it.
And him and Zoe, tight. Very tight.
Have you noticed that in the series? You're to observe it, motherfucker.
So Zoe kind of freaks out, going like, this girl is bad news. And Wash is like, okay, we're serious now.
Oh, whoops.
My bad. Please don't kill me with your pinky.
She is terrifying, man. Is this whenever we see Mal go down to his quarters?
That's the scene. You are on track, sir.
Slips down in.
Starts
down the ladder.
His,
gets down the ladder.
Takes off his overalls, which he is wearing. His suspenders,
so
my bad.
Awesome.
He's wearing suspenders.
So awesome.
And he pops these
in
suspenders
case you forgot
off.
that he wears Western suspenders, he takes them off.
Takes off his suspenders. And then he sees Saffron in his bed, naked.
All of Saffron. And let me tell you what, from like the chest, there's a lot to see. And then it minimizes in the waist. And then the back gets a little bit more to see. It curves right back. What I'm trying to say, she a hot lady?
I don't know. I didn't notice.
Christina. I'm sure you didn't. You're like, nah, man. I was watching Mal. I was trying to see the little nuances in his face and jerk off to him proper.
He's trying to get the thing done right.
So he sees her.
He sees her, and he kind of just awkwardly stumbles through trying to tell her to go to her own room.
Until he decides that hell might be worth it and that he's going.
Yeah, so she just totally, like, completely seduces him right here. Because she is just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so he gives up, and he goes, I'm going to special hell.
But it's a decision. He could have said no.
Yeah, he could have.
He didn't want to say no from the beginning. He
He never wanted
thought
to.
it was right.
And he tried.
Yeah.
He tried and kept trying. And then he was like, I'm not trying anymore. I've been trying.
It's like she's a pro.
I've done a lot of trying, and I'm not trying anymore. So he kisses her, and he passes out.
45 seconds later.
So he kisses her and passes out. Boom. And Saffron runs away.
Yeah. No, she disappears. And then she runs into somebody who doesn't get a lot of screen time this week, even though it seemed like she did because she had bigger moments.
Are you talking about Wash? Because I think we're missing something.
Oh, yeah, we skipped Wash. But
You skipped Wash. You skipped the most underrated character in this
Let me
crew.
tell
Are
you why.
kidding
I
me?
was going to say because he's underrated.
So Mal...
I like to go with the crowd, and we decided.
Oh, yeah? We decided he's underrated, so we're just going to skip him.
Yeah.
No, because this part is incredible and the character development for Wash. So she goes up to the cockpit, finds Wash alone, just kind of starts talking to him. They have this chit-chat back and forth, and then she starts playing her game on Wash and tries to seduce him.
Yeah, and I mean, at first, Wash is like, whoa, like, sexy. But no. The thing is,
he remembers that he's married to Zoe, and he doesn't want to die.
And Zoe could and would and will and absolutely might, if he even did anything wrong, kill her.
With her pinky.
Yeah, kill
as
him.
he says. So, Wash starts boring her with his relationship with Zoe and how they met. And he turns around to open up the cockpit door, which Saffron had closed, and she just kicks him because she can't take it anymore.
Just kicks him in the head, knocks him right on out.
She's like, I'm not doing this. So she does that. She drags him outside of the cockpit, right?
Yeah, and then she does something to the ship, just setting on a course, and then uses this little stick thing that welds the door shut whenever she closes it together.
Yeah, that was cool. It was like, imagine double-sided tape, and you stick it to one side, and then you peel off that cover.
And it starts getting hot, and you slam these two pieces of metal together, and it
welds
binds
them
them
together. It actually welds
I was
them.
into
So
that.
she welds the doors to the cockpit shut after sabotaging the console in the cockpit. Starts running away.
She's heading to an escape shuttle.
One of the
Well, not
shuttles.
an escape shuttle, but a shuttle
One of
to
the
escape.
shuttles.
And she runs into Anara.
Yep, right into Inara and goes, oh, I thought the cheer shuttle was the other one. Completely dodging Inara's question of what are you doing?
Oh, yeah. And then she tries to seduce Anara, and I was like, yes. I mean, like, right? Why not?
Yeah.
I'm into it. I saw Jennifer's Body. You can have nonsensical lesbian kissing.
It doesn't need to have any relevance to anything.
It doesn't have to have relevance to anything. And they gave it relevance.
Yeah, so they did like the same thing, but better.
So after Saffron tries to seduce Anara, Anara invites her back to her room.
And then an alarm goes off.
And then Anara says, you're a skillful little bitch.
Essentially.
You freaking bitch.
Pretty much.
Where'd you get this from?
I don't remember that part happening. I feel like that would never have made it
You
onto
weren't watching
Fox.
with subtitles. It barely was on Fox. You weren't watching with subtitles.
So Anara realizes what Saffron's up to, and there's like a miniature cat fight, and then Saffron runs into the shuttle after saying that she is Malcolm Reynolds' widow. And Anara freaks out.
She just huffs it down there. This episode did give us something from Anara, though, that's unusual. Super goofy, funny Anara.
Yeah, it did. But at the same time, it also gave us like she was clearly going through a spell where she was really into Mal.
Yeah, she was. Apparently in episode 3.
In episode 3, which would have been confusing if you watched it out of order in that
Yeah, if she got like less and less interested in him.
She just like is up, and maybe that's why Fox did it. It was so that Inara didn't have a sensical. They were like the execs were like, I was watching this, and it was almost like Inara's storyline made sense. So let's just scramble that up.
Cut it.
So she runs to find Mal.
Knocked out.
And here's the cool thing. Mal's cabin is right next to Kaylee's. Are they all sleeping up there? I mean, obviously, like Simon's not and Shepard's not. But does Zoe and Wash sleep up there?
That's true because they have the other cabins down low where they sleep because they take on passengers sometimes.
Right.
And where does... I guess they all sleep up there. That would make sense if they all slept by the engine room and the...
That would make sense, right?
And the dining hall and, more importantly, the cabin.
Right, the core crew group. So anyway, Kaylee is popping out of hers going, what's going on? Wash is knocked out. He's bleeding. Jane and Zoe up there looking after Wash. Inara rushes into Mal's cabin and finds him knocked out.
And she gives him a big old kiss.
Yeah, she discovers he's alive because she thinks he's dead. Just bitter, just right on the lips.
And then she feels lightheaded.
She calls for the doctor.
Mal, you idiot.
Passes out. That's how that entire thing goes down. So then Mal wakes up and the entire crew is there. Simon, Shepard, everybody is there.
That's right. And Inara's been placed on Mal's bed to rest because she also fell. She fell.
She knocked her head like Wash.
Oh, God damn it.
She fell, and like Wash, she knocked her head.
Like Wash, she knocked her head. She fell.
And knocked her head.
And in case you were going to ask, she had fallen and knocked her head, and that's what had happened to her.
The same thing that happened to Wash.
In case you were curious.
Who didn't kiss anybody.
Like Wash.
Like Wash. And that's what happened to Inara.
Seems iffy here. Seems a little iffy.
So...
Seems like her training's slipping her.
So Simon explains this, what was it, kiss, not a kiss of death, but the kiss of...
It's essentially just what people use as prostitutes to steal people's shit. He'd just knock them out.
It's like from that Batman movie where Poison Ivy put on the...
Yeah, Batman POS.
Batman POS, that's the one.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it being.
Batman and Robin POS.
Batman and Robin POS. Yeah, so essentially, it's this film, you put it on your lips, kiss somebody, it makes them knock out, and apparently Simon used to see guys come in to the ER all the time who this had happened to, and they've been robbed blind. So that's a thing that you can do if you're a woman, just so you guys know out there.
In the capital city, right?
Yeah. and the capital city with capital letters at the beginning of capital and city, meaning it's the capital city.
Yeah, it's literally the capital city.
So Shepard remarks how special that must be to have kissed her. How special indeed it is.
Shepard's such a dick. I love the guy.
He almost can't even keep a straight face when he's saying it too.
Okay, so they have to get into the bridge.
Yeah, so they find out that the cockpit is welded shut. They can't get in.
That's when you get the just like the 2 seconds. But I love this stuff of Jane putting on the goggles, firing up the torch, leaning toward it, and that's it. I just want to watch that in a GIF loop.
Yeah.
It's great.
Perfectly looped gift.
He just continues to put his glasses and spark that.
So they cut this door open. Jane cuts it open with his badassery. And Kaylee and Wash crawl under the console almost immediately. They know what's down. They look under there, and they just start having like this insane... Like, what would you even describe this as?
I would describe it as a conversation of admiration for her chaotic or like her methodical destruction.
Yeah, and at the same time, they're like talking to each other
in nerd language for serenity.
Until they're like very specific.
Like ship nerd language.
Right. So while they're doing that, everybody else is bored out of their mind because they have no idea what they're saying. They start discussing how Saffron has, how she did all this.
Yeah.
Going back and forth, having this discussion. And Jane just remarks that, that's why he never kisses him on the mouth. And silences the whole crew.
Stops the conversation dead.
Everybody's just like, that, we're going to ignore it now. So then Inara...
And wow, by the way, I don't think that's true. But we'll find out later in the series.
So
they recognize that they're heading for this electric net.
Yeah, so Shepard is the one who
this is where the
explains.
ruffians come back in. Yeah, fucking Shepard. all the time.
He explains what it is. It's an electric net. It fries everybody inside. Some of the newer ones don't fry them. Instead of frying them, it incapacitates them, and then they just gas them.
Shoot them out the airlock sometimes.
Because they don't want to deal with survivors. And the whole point is to get the ship and either salvage it or sell it or whatever. So they're trying to steal the ship.
I just want to watch a series with these two guys going around.
This is the season finale.
Yeah. Going around the verse. Yeah, when it blows up. And like the way it impacts them is an entire season 3. But
Do they survive, though? We'll get to that.
The ruffians.
So Inara tells the crew that Saffron had companion training.
Yeah, because she
in
recognized
Academy companion training. Ooh. And Mal goes, how do you know? So that's when she tells the crew that Saffron tried to seduce her as well. That she did not kiss her. She fell.
She fell on her, like Wash.
Yeah, like Wash, and hurt her head. Like
Just
Wash did.
Yeah.
So then Wash says, everybody who's not talking about sex, stay in here. Everybody else, outside.
Kicks everybody out.
Everybody except for Kaylee. Kaylee and him are the only ones.
Yeah, because the two of them know when to keep their sex separate from their job. Actually, Kaylee does seem to know.
Yeah, nobody else does. Well, Nara probably does. Actually, she clearly does because because I wanted to talk about this. Okay. So, this is the part where we learn a little bit more about, there's an academy.
And that's that Inara doesn't kiss him on the mouth either.
So, Inara was actually trained to do her job at an academy, like a prestigious school, right? But she's clearly very into Mal. But she doesn't use her training on Mal. Because it's almost as if she doesn't even know how to.
I mean, if you understand that training, there has to be a certain point in which you're like, I understand this training so much that I can't just manipulate. I don't want somebody I want to be manipulated to be mine. I'm sure she's done it before, right?
Probably.
That's got to be the thing. She's probably done it before. She's like, I don't want what I want by just getting it. Anybody can do that.
Yeah, so
I can do it immediately.
A real struggle for her. And that's part of the strain.
Why she stays there.
That's probably such a strain for her and why this relationship builds like it does.
I like that. That makes sense, though.
So,
she could at any point.
Yeah, she could. She could
totally, like any day.
I mean, look at him.
Any day.
He totally gave in to Saffron.
And he would give in to Inara immediately, even with their past, because she knows what the fuck she's doing.
Yeah. And because he totally wants her.
He totally wants her.
Totally wants her.
He's also kind of stupid.
In some ways. But I mean, to be fair, I want her too.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, have you seen her?
Who?
So back at the
Irritated
Ruffians,
Inara.
Back at the Ruffians, they say that the ship
is that their place? It's just a little crooked sign.
It says Ruffians.
Ruffians.
It says the space place of Huckleberry Finn.
They only wrote one word right. Huckleberry, surprisingly.
Yeah, that was the weird thing.
Couldn't believe
Not even Finn, but So
it's up to interpretation unless it's PHIN.
We're 10 minutes away. We're 10 minutes out. The ship is
from
being caught in this trap. That's all that we get. Again, very short scenes of the Ruffians here.
For real, and I want to see them.
So back in the ship, we get some of the navigation instruments back online. They can't steer, they can't navigate, but they can see where they're going, and this is where they kind of discover the net.
So they decide that in order to take it out, because they don't have a lot of time to decide this.
No, because they need to get navigation back online, but the way she had done it made it really hard for them to get it back online. So they're not sure they're going to be able to steer the ship by the time they get through this net.
So Mal says, Jane, go get Vera.
We need a plan B.
we need a plan B, he said after having sexual contact with Saffron.
So he tells them to go get Vera, and Jane says that it's not going to shoot outside. It's got to have oxygen.
Yeah. So they put a suit on the fucking gun.
But you'll notice that Jane said it's not going to shoot and we don't have a case, which means that there's technology built specifically to shoot a gun in outer space.
Oh, you're right. I didn't notice that, but that's fucking cool.
Yeah, it is.
That one part of a sentence, that's cool. Okay, so there's cases to blast motherfuckers out in space?
In space, so you can just use Vera out there. And presumably they're designed so they've got their own oxygen tank or something going on.
They look like paintball guns.
That would be amazing.
So they put a suit on this one, but there's I wish we'd have seen all this.
I know, the case. So what they do is they put the gun inside the suit. Mal opens the door. We get explained that there's these bright spots on the case or on the cage.
It's essentially where the electrical shockwave is sent from ball to ball, except they're placed all around this circle.
It's a circle, right?
So that it creates a net of electricity. And if you hit one,
right. So if you hit
it
one of those
disrupts it.
points, it throws the breaker, maybe. So
good luck. They've played so many maybe games.
and they keep winning for now, though. So a silent gunshot, a clean hole right through the helmet, the eruption of electricity into the baddie's base as it shocks everyone. And then Jane just decides to let a few more of them rip and busts open that helmet and shoots a few shots into the glass of the ruffian's command center.
It doesn't blow it, does it? But it just cracks it.
Who knows?
Oh, that's right. Who knows?
Because they got shocked, too. They got hit. But wasn't that such a cool scene? The silent gunshot, the boom, and then boom, 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 boom. And then you hear the gunshots the second time, too. Like,
oh, yeah.
and it's just all
But the
out.
first one was
That
so
first
great
one.
whenever you're like, no sound, like space.
Yes.
Like space.
What a phenomenal bit of filmmaking. Joss Whedon, I love you, sir.
Good old house.
Please, no more dollhouses.
The houses?
Dollhouses. Do you ever read that play?
Which one?
Dollhouse.
What? Is that really a play?
Yeah.
No. What is it about?
It's just about this girl who like lives in this perfect dollhouse type world, and you find out that she like did some illegal shit to save her husband, and there's a whole deal that goes on. But it's an American classic. I don't know if it's American. It's a classic. Might not be American at all.
Sounds boring as shit. But
It is. It really is boring.
Oh, Isaac.
So
I looked something up. This is true, and the reason I know is because it's Wikipedia, and it says
that's the way that I always know my things are true.
this isn't any Yahoo Answers bullshit.
Yahoo Answers. Did you notice that they switched their design layout to where it's even worse? It looks like it looked like not WikiHow, but like that other Ask one that was kind of like Yahoo Answers, but worse.
Yeah, no.
Wiki Ask, or I don't even remember. So what did you find on Wikipedia?
Jane fires out the window of the net's crew compartment, causing it to rupture and killing the net's 2 operators.
That's what I thought. So that would be where the entire series ended.
Yeah, so that's season 5.
That's season 5.
That's Angel. Except the thing is, in the series, you just see the window get shot, and then it says to be continued, but you never get the next season. But in Firefly, they end it by being like, I don't fucking, they're dead.
They're dead. Yeah, so you have to watch Firefly. What if this was a show that had otherwise no connection to Firefly? But you had to know.
Oh, that would be sweet.
What if it's a Joss Whedon show too?
Then people might guess it.
Let's get a hold of him and tell him this. He can have it for free. We just want to see it. We just want Joss Whedon.
We'll be the first people to do this to him.
Yeah, nobody's ever done that, right?
No, not in the minute. I'm sure at Comic-Con, nobody's ever been like,
"Hey, Whedon, I got an idea.
I got an idea for you. You can have it for free. I just want to see you make it." And he was like, that's a great idea. What's your idea?
And then Firefly was born.
Oh, shit, that was you?
So our crew makes it out safely, which is good, because if they died, then we would have only had 3 episodes of... that would have been exceptionally confusing if they died on episode 3 and then they were just no explanation back. So it's a good thing that they survived. Otherwise, it would have been bad.
Okay, so wait. But how much did you love? After all this goes down, and they're obviously dead, so we don't have to check in on those other motherfuckers. We don't worry about them. They're goddamn dead.
Series over.
So we don't worry about them. We cut, after they've saved everything, we cut to snowy cabin in the woods.
Gorgeous shot.
Fucking gorgeous.
Unexpected as hell.
Like, this is something that where I like to take certain screenshot and wallpaper this one. Gorgeous. Seriously, look beautiful.
If you like that, I've got this awesome picture that I took that I'll show you, and we'll post it on the website.
Okay.
And it'll remind you of that in some ways. I'm just proud because I'm not a photographer.
And I took a picture. Literally the only picture I've ever taken. I've owned a smartphone.
I had it as my wallpaper, and I liked it. So
People are like, this has nothing to do with Firefly. We know, but we just set you up. So we cut to a cabin in the woods, like the one Isaac took a photo of.
but it wasn't
In-
a cabin in the photo.
Cabin in the woods.
So we get an inside shot. Saffron moving around. Mal bursts in the door. Trench coat
awesome.
flowing. He's got this pistol. Holds it to her head. And then a fight breaks down because he's not going to shoot her. He was never going to shoot her.
Of course he wasn't going to shoot her, but he's also not against hitting a woman. Just like, yeah, I'm going to hit you. Don't start shit, and I'm not going to kill you, but I also wouldn't kill a guy. I wouldn't kill anybody who's not going to kill me.
Right, because if somebody tries to kill you,
You just try and kill him right back.
you try to kill them right back. So there's a struggle that goes down, there's like almost the absence, there's like the ghost of sexual tension now. And
Just looming over them.
it's not real.
I didn't know there was a ghost of sexual tension where it's like there was so much sexual tension. No, listen. So much between these two.
that when it immediately died.
It created an entity that now haunts both of them.
And will continue to, but we'll get back to that.
They're not going to have sexual tension when they're around. They're just going to feel its dead presence.
It's like the force of gravity. It's as fundamental and real as gravity is. So
It'll reap tension around it.
it can't breed tension, but it can amplify it. So Mao gets her held down. He's got the gun to her head, and they start talking. She tries to seduce him again, and he's like,
Of course.
Yeah, don't even try.
I'm an idiot once.
I may be an idiot twice, but you're not going to make me one. So they have this back and forth. There's not really a lot that goes on here. Just a little bit of, character development. Eases the episode toward the end. He says just one last question. What's your real name? And then punches her.
Knocks
Knocks
her
her out.
unconscious.
And goes,
Completely unconscious.
You would have just lied anyway.
And then we cut back to Serenity. Serenity. Mal's talking to Inara.
He's talking to Inara, and
He's got
we never
questions.
find out what happened to Saffron.
No, we really don't.
Well, we do, but we don't.
I'm just so glad that both of her come. She comes back.
Both of her.
I'm so glad that she enters frame first, and then she enters.
So we are just dropped from Saffron now. Don't know what happened to her after Mal left.
Knocked her
All we know
unconscious
is-
and left in this cabin in the woods.
Yeah, apparently he
and it
just
was a
knocked her
snowy
out.
section of the planet.
Yeah, and he took her shuttle. Took it back. So that's where
I'm just
Saffron's at.
I'm just here for what's mine.
Yeah.
And she's like, take it. And he's like, no, I'm not being seduced again.
I'm not.
I'm just going to
not
knock
doing
you the
that.
fuck unconscious and take my ship.
So Mal tells Inara, you're very graceful. And she goes, okay, thanks, I guess. And he goes, it seems weird that you would have tripped and fallen.
Like, wash.
like watched it. And so she's like, all right, I'm caught. And then she's kind of happy about being caught.
Right, but she's also kind of like shocked where anybody knows, like, I got caught with my hand in the cookie jar. Like, I'm in trouble, and it's fun, but at the same time, like, I knew I might get caught, so I'm not, like, super upset. So she has that face of, like, I have been caught. Here we go.
And but she's like hoping, like, all right, well, I
She's
guess he's
like,
gonna find out.
he
We're gonna
found
find
out.
out what happens
He
now.
understands, yeah.
We're gonna
So
find
he
out what happens.
Steps up to her.
Steps up real close, and she's got a little bit of excitement and fear in her
I
face.
knew it.
Knew it. You totally let her kiss you.
And then he just this is such an asshole to think he's so right, but he turns around and just gives her this like grin, like and wink. It's almost like a grin and wink, where he's just like, "I know, baby girl." And and after he leaves, doesn't she roll her eyes?
No,
Isn't she like,
no,
"You
she
crazy
just has this look where she's like, I don't even know
how
now
much of an
what
idiot
to
he
do."
is."
And then it ends.
That was such a. I want to go. I want to go look at her face again, where she's just like, "What the?
You should
fuck?
watch that scene again because her facial expression doesn't change. She's just very confused and like slightly upset, but also like not upset.
What if they just broke? She just broke down crying, and we held on it 5 minutes. End of episode.
5 minutes of Inara crying.
5 minutes of her breaking down and just crying. Camera never moves or cuts.
Can you imagine how long
End.
5 minutes would be?
It would be an eternity.
5 whole minutes.
5 whole minutes. I thought about saying 60 seconds, but I was like, no.
Let's go. Let's go all out on this one.
And then she eventually, and as she breathes her last and falls asleep.
Credits roll.
Credits. Joss Whedon, Tim Minear. Pop on screen.
And that's how this episode actually ends.
And that's how we wish Firefly was this week. Well,
And that was the episode we wanted to watch. Now we'll do the actual episode. So, just a few things I had written down. On the Netflix version, we're back to Shepard doing the introduction. Because last week it was
I thought he was more of a mainstay, but maybe they just popped in
Mel
Mal.
for that episode for some reason.
I'm going to find out. I mean, we're going to find out and see. Maybe they did more with the crew. Maybe they plan to do more with the crew.
That would be cool.
Because they did it with Buffy. Buffy
did do that.
had different people introducing all the time. I
Yeah.
think even Tara, right?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
She was an important character for a while.
Yeah, I remember like her name, right? Fuck her. She's gone now. She wasn't there in the beginning. She's like a middle filler.
She was like a middle filler, right? She had nothing to do with
It's not
Willow.
fair. I
or
think
anything.
Tara honestly reminds me the most of any real world friends we've ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
I can see that.
Right?
I still haven't seen season 7 of Buffy.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I gotta get on that. So,
What if you're like, I haven't even seen season 1 of Firefly yet.
this is my first time.
I haven't
through
seen it Fox's way.
So
11 episodes aired out of order.
the only other thing that I noticed was during this introduction, he's explaining what's going on, and he says we found another solar system and terraformed over 100 planets and moons, which implies to me that this is a single solar system. The entire verse takes place in a single solar system with over 100 planets and moons.
it's like it's like they found a galaxy that was well spaced out. The whole getting there makes no sense, right?
Which is why they shouldn't have ever done this introduction. You don't need to know. You don't
Or
need to know.
or you say it different. I mean, come on.
But you really just don't need to know.
Maybe.
How did Star Wars get to the place they're in? A long time
Are you
ago,
kidding
in a
me?
galaxy far, far away. Do you need to know?
I'll give you the galaxy far, far away you don't need to know.
You don't need to know. And you didn't
But
need
it's
to know
not
that
placed
these were...
in our... I guess it is placed in our world if it's a galaxy far... Well, not our world.
Yeah, it's in our universe. It's just in a galaxy far, far away.
But that's not our universe, is it?
Yeah, that's totally
So
our
galaxies
universe.
are in universes?
So if you got the universe is everything.
Right.
Galaxy is
Oh.
the clusters of stars
Okay.
and planets and solar systems.
Universe
And
is everything?
then universe is all of it.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Science dropped.
Oh, yeah. Now we're getting... This is a physics podcast now.
We're everywhere, motherfucker.
So, obviously it's a TV show, but I was just thinking, like, maybe they could have gotten more than one solar system or not ever explained it at all. But that was just Joss Whedon's Dollhouse side coming out. So,
This lasted one season. Dollhouse. 2.
got 2 seasons.
2.
This wasn't even a full season either.
I would have given this season for a 6th season of Angel, or vice versa, 5 less seasons of Angel for 5 more of Firefly.
No, I wouldn't ever give up Firefly for one more season of Angel. But I would give up all of Dollhouse
I would. I love Angel.
for free.
Right now, I've been trying to erase it ever since I've seen it. Just became an alcoholic.
To deal with Dollhouse.
Dollhouse.
So,
Thank God for the Avengers.
back to our Mrs. Reynolds.
Yes.
The entire episode was good.
It was good.
There wasn't a lot of
Super filler
overarching-
episode.
Yeah, it was very filler. However, there were some great lines in it.
There was quite a few great lines from the top.
From the top. So, my question to you,
Yes.
which one of these was your favorite?
Okay, mine comes from the top. And it is Mal. Or Miss Mal? Miss Reynolds?
Mrs. Reynolds?
No, this would be Miss. He's not married yet.
Oh, okay. Miss Reynolds.
Miss Reynolds.
So
riding-
then she wouldn't be Miss Reynolds. Oh, that Miss Reynolds.
Miss Reynolds riding with Mr. Jane. And now before the fight begins, and I love this bit, he goes, "Now think real hard. You've been dog burning this township a while now. They wouldn't mind a corpse of you. Now you can luxuriate in a nice jail cell, but if your hand touches metal, I swear by my pretty floral bonnet, I will end you."
Feel the
Western
wrath.
as fuck.
Feel the wrath.
Western as fuck.
I wonder if most of our quotes, maybe somebody will tally these up, are going to be from Mal.
Like in our RVB show, they're gonna go and do pie charts. We love pie charts, guys.
And use multiple colors: reds,
Ooh.
oranges, yellows, blues,
Percentages, graph
bar
bars.
graphs, colored bar graphs. Yeah, and you can do that without printing anything, so it doesn't even cost you anything. Just send that to
do
us.
math and email it to us. We love that shit.
We love that.
Just more than the Alliance. We love math and pie charts.
Well, I mean, but the Alliance uses a lot of math and pie charts.
That's fair. They use so many. I mean, that's what makes them so great.
Have you seen them? They're organized as hell. This isn't just one government on one measly little country in a measly little world. This is a solar system that they govern. We don't even have a world government.
On Earth now.
We have hundreds of different governments.
Hundreds. In our little tiny Earth.
And our Earth. The Alliance governs
One rule.
a solar system with over 100 occupied planets and moons.
Providing help.
Yeah. The
To
Alliance.
those that need it.
The Alliance. They're
Yeah.
amazing.
God, I love the Alliance so much.
So my favorite quote this week also came from Mal. And I actually wrote down 3, but I had to choose one.
I realized pretty quickly that I was going to stick with that one because there's so much. I love the Western feel.
It's so atmospheric and it's very fun.
Your hand touches metal?
Your hand touches metal.
What was your
And
favorite?
you're like, yeah. My favorite quote we've already given away about twice. My
I'm
favorite
sorry.
quote was, well, I did it once too. He goes, and you don't ever stand for that sort of thing. If someone tries to kill you, you try to kill them right back. And I just love that line because he's like, what kind? And then he goes, what kind of dumb planet is that? He's just so offended by the idea that she's so raised that way.
It's a lot like whenever you see the people who are like truly good at heart, but they really aren't PC. They're just good at heart.
Right.
Like
exactly.
they're doing the right
That's
thing
exactly
in everything
Mel.
they do. And everything they do, they're doing the right thing. Just because they're an idiot doesn't mean they're not the best person you've ever met.
Exactly. That's Mal.
Fucking idiot Mal. In a nutshell, he's just an idiot.
He's just an idiot with the purest heart. But he's not an idiot. He's brilliant at what he does and not much else. And he knows it, and that's why he only does what he does.
At what he does and not much else, huh?
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
Isaac, I have one question for you.
Okay.
All right, I will allow you to ask this question. Do you have anything else for us this podcast?
Not for this episode, but I will say I'm excited for the next one.
I am very excited for the next one. I'm very excited. It's one of the best.
It even has Jane in the title as just a little spoiler for those who might be watching this in the Fox order.
It's called Janestown. Next episode's Janestown. I'm sorry I let it go.
Damn it. That was the big reveal for next week.
Can you imagine if somebody's listening to our podcast like, I don't know, I can't wait to hear next week. These guys are amazing.
What are they going to do? Which episode is it going to be?
They always think we're going to fuck up the order.
What if we have?
Every time.
We don't do it. We don't do it by Fox's order or by the real order.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else.
Good.
Unless you just want to make sure that we say Christina Hendricks again to make sure we post an episode of her for reference.
Who is that?
Saffron.
Who's that? Christina Hendricks? Is that what
Christina
you said?
Hendricks.
Christina Hendricks?
Yeah, we'll post a photo of her
on
as
the
a show
website.
note.
So you guys can all see Miss.
Was she in Playboy?
Was she?
I don't know.
Let's find out.
I'll double check.
Why don't you Google that for us? For science.
Just for science. Now, in order to accomplish this science, I'm going to have to go. So, everybody, thank you for listening this week. If you have any questions, comments, thoughts, or ideas, you can send those to fireflyinreview@gmail.com. You can always visit us at our website, daveandisaac.com, where we have new projects coming up very, very soon. In fact, you will see those hopefully in the next 2 months. Plenty to come. Isaac, anything this week?
Nothing else.
God damn it. All right. We'll talk to you guys next week. Sayonara.
There's no place I can be since I found serenity. But you can't take the sky from me.
Vocals for the entire episode.
You're going to be the background vocalist.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for trying.
Well, it's my dream and my aspiration to do that someday.
Well, you're a good trier. You'd try for a while.
Yep.
Are you just trying to pop into the mic? You're like, yeah, it's my only goal.
My goal is to fuck this all up at the very end.
Good job. Good job.